I guess something should be posted on Twitter. Let me check 1 second. Have you ever done something like this? I always see people doing it, but never. I
I used to stream games like back in the day. I mean,
nice,
such a long time ago.
nice,
I even had a streaming group. I mean, I was a part of a streaming group. It was funny.
nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's still a very old subreddit for it even. It's funny.
Let me. Yeah, it's live, so let me share the links in a few places, and then so that anyone can join. There's so many social platforms these days.
Oh yeah, I think like there is really a space for an app that's gonna let you post everything at once.
We're using this app called Typefully. They do a good job. Like you can have multiple accounts, and then they do
Mhm.
the syndication of the post. That saves you a bunch of time. But it's still, also the people that you find in different social networks, they expect different types of content. Twitter is more like, I mean, Elon Musk has turned Twitter into that kind of social network,
Yeah,
but
shithole app.
very clickbaity type of content, and Mastodon is like a different, yeah, more calm, more mindful type of content.
Mm-hmm.
Trim, just
Irashai Kai responding to the
okay,
chat.
cool. I think it should be good. So we can start. Well, I don't have any intro prepared, but yeah, David and I we had a chat last week. We were talking about the documentation of Tuist, and how we could improve it, and then we came up with the idea of what if we take one of his apps, Cork. I'll let him explain later what the app does. What if we take it and migrate it to Tuist? The biggest motivation is to get rid of Git conflicts, which is something that we've also seen Apple like starting to tackle with Xcode 16. But he will also get the benefits of binary caching and a bunch of other pro features that we're gonna give him access to as an open source project. So the idea would be that we would spend some time together doing this live stream, doing the migration, answering questions, taking notes of things that we could improve in the documentation, and hopefully like have a good resource for anyone thinking about migrating apps in the future to have a good resource that they can follow. So I was thinking maybe David, you can talk about introduce yourself, talk about Cork a little bit, and then from
Mm-hmm.
there we can share the screen and we can try to follow the docs from top to bottom, and then see if we can end up with something migrated to Twist and working.
Yeah, of course. So, hello everyone. My name is David Bureš. I work as a technical writer. So, I write documentation for a living. But in my free time, I create Mac OS apps mostly. And the problem that I have right now is that I have a ton of different branches, right? And every time I change something on one of those branches, I get a Git conflict and a merge conflict in the project file. So uh, at first, when I was just starting with Cork, it wasn't that big of a problem. But now that the code base has grown, I'm getting a lot of conflicts that are pretty much unresolvable, especially when Xcode decides to give the same ID to different files and then the project can't be opened at all. So it's when I got in touch with Pedro and we wanted to do this migration. And I think it's going to have a lot of advantages. I also want to split up the code into like different targets because the app is getting quite complex. So that's another thing that I hope that Twist is going to help me with.
So what if you share the screen and then we start doing the
Mhm.
migration?
Of course. Let's see if I have what it takes. Share screen. There we go. Should be able to see it.
And let me change the setup. I think you need to share the screen in the Restream.
All right, right. So do I share it in the what's the app called Tuple or
So Tuple is more for the two of us in case I need to type something
mhm.
on your environment. But if you go to this platform that we're using for live streaming, Restream, there's a button
Mhm.
at the button that
Yeah, right,
says share
right.
screen.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
think
I got it.
was
Okay, okay. It should be
there. You go.
visible now. You can see this cool cat I have in the widget.
Nice, cool. There you go.
Mhm.
All right. How familiar are you with Twist and with the models and everything?
I am not too familiar,
Okay.
honestly. I think it would be the safest to assume that I know nothing.
Okay. Perfect.
I think that's going to be the most useful for everybody watching, and it's also going to be useful for me to get a hold of, how the documentation is supposed to be.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Let's start by looking at like at the project, how it's organized, how many schemes you have, because that will give us. So I see
Mhm.
there are two dependencies, which are
Mhm.
packages. Are they local or remote?
They are remote. Both of them are
Remote
remote. Yeah.
packages. Perfect.
Mhm.
If you click on the project, how many targets do you have?
I have two targets,
Okay.
but I also have three schemes. So
Perfect. What is the difference between those schemes?
this one is the production build,
Mm-hmm.
which includes licensing.
Mm-hmm.
Then this other one is for people who want to self-compile Cork, because I have this model
Okay.
where you can buy the pre-compiled version for free, or you
Mm-hmm.
can compile it yourself. And
Okay.
if you switch to self-compiled, the licensing gets bypassed.
Okay.
So that's the
How do
the
you how
reason
do you
why.
bypass it? Like, do you
Uh,
set
I
them?
have yeah, I have this flag I will
Mm-hmm.
show and see if self-compiled, right? And then it
Perfect.
sets the state to
Perfect.
the
So the
proper one.
scheme sets that variable, and then you use it from a build setting to conditionally include or exclude code.
Mhm. Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Um, okay, I think we can focus on so the targets we need to migrate them, otherwise nothing is gonna compile. And then for the schemes, we can do one of them, and that will give the audience like a good idea of how to define a scheme. And then later on, you can do the same with the others. Otherwise, like we would need more than an hour to do the migration.
Right.
But the setup is very simple, I have to say, compared to the projects that we've seen. So I don't think what we've seen in some users is that when they start migrating, they need to first understand their projects, and because some are very complex, is really understand how things depend on each other. Sometimes things work accidentally through implicitness, and it's kind of messy. But I think this one is should be. I don't like to say should
Mhm.
be because you never know, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hopefully.
say it. I'm gonna say like it should be straightforward. Can we
Mhm.
assume that Twist is installed in the system, or do you need to install it?
It should be installed, yeah.
Okay, then the first thing that we're gonna do is we need to create like a basic structure, which is the one that you get when Twist creates a new project from scratch because you have
Mhm.
an existing project. The files that we're gonna need are we need to create a Twist directory.
Mhm.
So
I will just create a branch for the migration.
yeah, let's do it.
Mhm. Okay, so now we can get to work.
Cool. So create I think you can use for that some kind of editor that is not Xcode maybe. Do you have VS Code or
Yes, I do. Mhm.
then you can create a folder in that project, you call it Twist with the
Mhm.
T, first T as capital letter.
Okay, just let me find it. Block. No. Okay, do I create it in the root?
Exactly.
Okay, so Tuist. Here we go.
Then inside that folder, create a config to Swift, C with capital letter. Those are what we call manifest files. Those are this
Mhm.
one in particular configures Twist, and the configuration is scoped to your project. And also the same config file helps Twist understand where the root of the project is. It's a way
Mhm.
for Twist to look up for that directory.
Mhm.
So what we need in that file, we're gonna put something very simple. Ah, yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
checking in the stream if the size is big enough.
It should be bigger enough, right?
Yeah, it should be. I'm
I'll,
gonna
I'll
open
make it
like
even bigger just to make sure. There we go. 25 should be more than enough.
awesome. So there we need to import a project description, which is a framework that Twist provides. And then we are going to create one variable. We can do let config equal, and then you instantiate things like class called config. Just config with capital letter in the C.
Okay.
Yeah, parenthesis, and then that's it. Exactly. So there you can pass a bunch of options where you contract this. If you've worked with packages, this is familiar where you have a package of Swift, and inside that you have a package that you instantiate with a bunch of properties. The idea is very similar. And right now because we don't pass any config, Twist takes the default configuration. Later on we can play a bit with that interface to see what options are possible. So that's one element that we need. The other one that we need is a project of Swift, which will be equivalent to your Escort project, but in Twist language. The way of think of this kind of project of Swift is in the same way package of Swift is your language to define in packages. Escort projects is Apple's proposal for describing your Escort projects. So Twist proposes a new one, which is project of Swift, and it's slightly different to the Escort project. It's Swift first. Second, the way you describe references to files in the file system is using glob patterns, so it's way shorter. That minimizes the chances of Git conflicts. They don't disappear completely because if two people are modifying the project of Swift at the same time, you will still have conflicts. But because that is very unlikely, you won't see those that frequently. So there is a bit of getting familiar with the project of Swift syntax. The good thing is that we replicated a lot of the terminology, a lot of the concepts on Escort projects. So we haven't changed the name. For example, if something is called a scheme in an Escort project, it's also called a scheme in a project of Swift. If something is called a target, it's called a target elsewhere because for us it was very important that people would feel instantly familiar with the language. They would just need to learn the syntax in Swift, and that's it. So let's create a project of Swift at the root, and then
at the root, right? Not in the Tuist folder.
exactly, is that inside the Twist folder? Yeah.
Yeah, now
Exactly.
it's in the root. There we go.
Perfect. So same thing we do. Let's keep this one empty for now. We are gonna edit the file using the one command that I will show you, and then inside the Twist folder, let's create another file called package.swift.
Okay. There we go.
So those are the main files that you would need. There's workspace.swift in case you want to use workspaces, but with Twist that's not really necessary. You could be writing those files here in VS Code, but then you don't get any suggestions, validation through the compiler, documentation. So it's much better if you do the whole editing through VS Code. So for that, Twist has a command. It's called Twist Edit. So if you open a terminal, either here or back in your terminal of choice, and then you do Twist Edit, that should open an Escort project.
Okay. So now we do Twist Edit, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Oh, what's happened? Package.swift is empty. Okay.
Let's remove it for now, and let's add it later. So to remove the file from VS Code.
Okay.
Not that one. The project.
Oh shit. Oh right. Package.
The
I'm
package
sorry.
of Swift.
Yeah. Right. Okay. There we go.
And now to Twist Edit again.
Let's try it. Okay. Okay. There we go.
Exactly. So let's go to the project of Swift, and let's start describing the project. So you always need to do import project description.
Oh,
This
just
is
let
that.
me see if I can make the text bigger. Where is it again? Where do you set this up? I've never changed the
Isn't it in
size.
themes? Yeah, I think here there is. If you select the presentation theme, I think that one comes by default with the
presentation. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's larger font.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a bit bigger.
So you can do import project description. This is a dynamic framework. When you install Tuist, it comes with the CLI, and that includes all the models that you can use here. So in the same way we did let config equal something, here it's let project equal and then project.
Mhm.
And then we start passing properties that are necessary. So one of them is name. So let's start with name,
Mhm.
and then you call it. I think you use Cork, no?
Yes. Do I use the domain name or the app name? So com David
Uh,
Buras Cork or
let's
just Cork?
is the ESCO project called Cork as well?
Yes, it's called Cork.
Let's call it then Cork dash twist, so that it
Mhm.
doesn't conflict. Otherwise, if we do generate, it's gonna override the existing
Mhm.
project. We don't want that for now. Once the migration is
Mhm.
complete, you can change the name. Then you will need to pass a list of targets. So you can do comma targets. Like they are all
Right.
passed, all the
Right. Yeah.
properties are
Okay.
passed in the
Okay.
constructor.
Right. Right. Okay.
hmm Let's do it like that. Let's try to create the target structure without any files. Let's assume they're empty. And then once we have that, then we move the settings and we move the source code and the resources and all of that.
Mhm.
So target is an array because every project has a list of targets. So you will need to pass an array here. So you do a square bracket,
Mhm. Right.
remove the init, and then all the initializers are static and they have the same name as the type. So in this case, it's dot. If you do dot target, then you can exactly
Mhm.
instantiate a target.
Mhm.
So you pass a name. I think your project had two targets. So one
Yes.
thing was called Cork.
Mhm. I will just create a second target already,
Yeah, you can
and
do
that
it.
one is for help. Okay.
hmm So destinations is an array with the destinations that you support. So you can do a square bracket, and then
Mhm.
I think you can do dot mac.
Yes, Mac. There we go.
hmm Then I think the product is an application, so dot application. If you see, these are like the products that you would find in ESCO when
Mhm.
you create a new target. Those are
Right.
the internal names that they use. Then the bundle
Mhm.
ID that you're currently using. Are you using the same for
Uh,
all the configurations?
I think I am.
If you can go back to the settings of the target and check those.
Uh, Product bundle identifier. Okay. Yes, there we go. I will just,
hmm
no, I can't copy it, so I'll just rewrite. And I will have a look at the second one while I'm here already. Yeah, God help. Just close this.
hmm
And I have a question for the second target.
Yep.
That one only builds the help book. So
Okay.
what do we do with the destinations and product?
What is the product of that? Is it a bundle?
Yes, it's a bundle.
And then is the app then copying the bundle inside the app?
Yes.
Then destinations is Mac. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this is important
Okay,
because when,
absolutely.
when Apple
Yeah.
compiles a bundle for a particular destination, they do optimizations. For example, the way you optimize the images for Mac is different from the way you optimize the images for an iPhone. That's why the
Mhm.
destination is important here. And then product, there's a name for that product. It's called bundle. So if you do dot bundle,
Yes. But it says currently only iOS resources are supported. What do we do about
um,
that?
I think it's fine. I think that is
Yeah.
misleading. We need to fix it.
Okay. Okay.
Can you go back to the other Xcode project just to see how the
Mm-hmm.
dependency between the two is defined? So if you go to the main target, the Quark, the app,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to build phases, there are sources. If you open target dependencies, I assume there will be a dependency with the bundle, all right? And then if you go to copy bundle resources, what are you copying? Okay, there's the bundle itself, which is
Mm-hmm.
core help, and then a bunch of assets. Perfect. Yeah, I think I'm just thinking if we define the dependency between the two, if Tuist will set up a project to copy the bundle inside the app, it should. I will check. I will check later, but it should be fine. So if you go back to the project of Swift, now we need to define the dependency between those two targets, and this is something that Xcode does. Xcode Tuist does an amazing job at, because unlike in Xcode, where like when you declare a dependency, is a mix of build settings and build phases, and when things are dynamic, things start to get kind of messy. In Twist, you declare things as you think about them, and then Twist does the job of translating those things into build phases and build settings automatically, so that all that complexity is abstracted away. The way you do it is, in this case, the dependency is between Cork depends on Cork help. So if you go to the target Cork, and then after bundle ID, there you do comma dependencies.
Yes.
Yeah, this is an array. And then in this case, it's a dependency with another target. So you do dot target. And then, yeah, that one. Then you need to pass the name of the target. In this case, it's Cork help. And then the second argument is optional, so you can delete it. This basically allows you to say only link this when you're compiling for this particular destination. For example, for Mac. For the others, skip it. In this case, we don't need to do that. Okay, so that would be the project. We still need to move the build settings and the sources. If we compile this, it should compile, but it's not gonna show anything, or maybe it fails because it's missing sources. We'll see. But this is kind of the basic structure of the project. As I said, like some projects are way more complex than this, but as you keep adding more targets, you will come here and like start defining the dependencies, and Tools will take care of all the complexities. We are still missing the external dependencies. So for that, let's on the group twist on the left navigation, then create a new file there and call it package.swift.
There we go.
And then the syntax is very similar to a package. Well, it's exactly a package.swift. So you will need to. I'm gonna type this because it's gonna be better than. Let me see if I can type. You need something like this, and then import package description. Oh, yeah, with a typo. Perfect. Yeah, I think is there any typo or something? I think we need a valid package of Swift. There's a bit of like a chicken and egg problem here. So I'm gonna create a valid package, and then let's call it like core. Let's close this and run edit again.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you
we
can.
close.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we run edit again. Oh,
yeah.
It kicked me out of the folder. So just a second.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, right. It's I passed in the wrong folder. I have a folder called Cork and I got confused. There you go.
Let's try with that.
Okay, this should work.
Yeah, so the reason why it wasn't working before is when we include the package of Swift, we have to configure things in a way that is able to find the package description within your system. Because before there was no package of Swift, we didn't set that build setting, and therefore it was complaining like I can't find package description. But now because we detected it and it was valid, now we everything works. So now you can define a package of Swift as you would do it with any package. So we would need to add the dependencies as suggested there. So let's do it with the couple of dependencies that you have. So you would do package, then the URL.
This or from?
The URL and range.
Okay. So I will
the
need
URL.
to.
I don't know if you can
I
copy
will
it
need
from there.
to. I'm not sure. Can we? This doesn't have URLs.
Maybe if you go to the project, I think there is a select the project and then select the project here above the targets there,
right?
And then package dependencies.
Oh,
Can you copy it from there?
Oh no, I can't. I will just I will look it up. It's all on
Okay.
GitHub, so I will just open Safari and do it there. Just a minute.
There are 88 people watching this. Not bad.
No way. Now
That's
everybody's
because
gonna
you're
like
David. That's because you're
everybody's gonna see my
famous.
everybody's gonna see my super secure way of logging into GitHub. Okay, so
I think this is useful. Like I thought we should be doing more of this because it's people then watch these videos and they can get a better sense of the tool and everything.
now I'm like, okay, is it the legacy one or the modern one? Okay.
Do you know who this guy is? He's like an
Yeah.
influence. Well, he's a very common open source developer in the JavaScript ecosystem. I don't know how many packages he has. I think the last time that I checked, it was over 1,000.
Yeah, he's a very famous programmer. Yeah, it's the modern one. Okay, so
Okay.
now we can use that.
I like to say
Okay.
that the JavaScript standard library are his package.
You know, there is this unexpected thing I'm just seeing. Like, in the target you have URL and it takes a
Mhm.
string. What is this?
That's so yeah, I think you can pass this the URL as a string. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying. You would expect it to be a URL.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more convenient because if they start like initializing URLs, like the initializer returns an optional if they validate it,
Honestly,
and then you have to end up
honestly,
like force unwrapping and
yeah. Every time I create a URL, I always do it like this. I put the URL and then I do the
hmm.
URL, and you do the from the string, and then
Yeah,
you like
yeah,
pass it in. And I always force unwrap it anyway, so it's
yeah.
useless.
I mean, in this case, it's I think it's safe to assume that developers will pass a URL. Like we don't do any checks, for example, if they are valid, we kind of delegate that to the Swift package manager, and I assume they must be doing a good job doing some validations here. They don't. It's kind of annoying, but yeah. Then in the second argument, I think you need to specify the version range. I don't know how you have that set up. If you can go to the ESCO project, you say up to the next major version. If you go back to
Oops.
the
Yeah.
yeah, if you see it's up to the next major version and then
Mm-hmm.
100. So if you go back to the edited project, you do dot up to the
Yes, next
exactly,
major.
exactly.
And I do 100, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Perfect. And then you need to add a second dependency.
Mm-hmm. Right. I
Sí,
forgot that.
cómo no.
Range, and this is one of my packages. So let me see.
It's called David something, no?
Yeah, David Foundation. There
Your
it is.
standard library, no? Nice.
Okay, here we go. Now this one, I have this one to the branch. So which one do we do? Branch item,
I think it's that. Yeah.
and I just do main.
Hmm.
Okay,
Cool.
what is your problem?
Does it like it?
Package. Why? Because wait, no. What's wrong with you?
Maybe there's another. Those interfaces come from the Swift package manager. So if you do command click, maybe instead of so this initializer takes a URL and a range. Maybe there's another one that takes a branch instead of a range.
Okay, let me try that out.
If you do dot package, uh, yeah, exactly the fourth one.
Right, right. Oh, fourth one?
Yeah, the fourth one from that list. You see like URL
Yeah,
and
okay,
branch.
yeah, I see it,
Yeah,
I see it, I see it, okay.
I think it's a string, not a branch.
What is the string? Yeah, it's a string, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay,
You
so
can
let's
delete that.
delete this.
And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna add something at the top. Let me paste it
Mm-hmm.
there, and I will explain what it is. So what that does is, but when you integrate packages into an ESCO project, the way Apple does it is through this system where you open the ESCO project, and then ESCO starts resolving the packages, and then we start compiling them. Then it's able to integrate those packages into your dependency graph. So the resolution and the building of those packages inside your project is kind of like tightly integrated into your Xcode experience, we decided to separate it. So on one side, you have resolving packages, which is done through a command that we call Tuist install. It's the same as in other ecosystems where you do cargo install or like npm install. It's like fetch dependencies, like pull them locally. I want to have them here. And then when you open the project, those dependencies are ready to use them. Because we separate between the two, it gives us it allows us to give you control over how you would like those dependencies to be integrated. This is something that Apple, when it comes to these things, they tend to do things convenient, but at some point, the convenience gets in your way. Convenience gets in your way, and you want to have some kind of control. So this is the control that Twist gives you by doing something like that. One of those things that you can do is to change the product of those targets. So by default, we do everything statically. So if you don't specify anything, those two packages, launch a login and David Foundation, are going to be integrated static. But let's say you would like them to be dynamic. This is not possible in the standard Xcode integration. Like Apple makes that decision for you. Um, like in this particular scenario, you can control that. So I don't know in your case if those packages are integrated to be dynamic or static. Do you know by any chance?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So let's do them static for now. So dynamic usually it takes more time to launch the app. I think in this case it's gonna be not noticeable because you only have a couple of targets. As you keep adding dependencies, then you don't want to have all of them as dynamic because it will affect the launch time of the app. So because by default they are integrated as static. Statically, I think it's all fine. So yeah, I think let's keep it there in case you want to override some settings, but this is something that is possible. There are some other options that you can pass. The one that you see there is called product types, which means, as you see at the line above, like for a lamp of fire, I want you integrated as a framework, and that framework means dynamic framework. So the internal name that Apple uses is framework, but it's really dynamic framework. So you want to change how a lamp of fire is integrated in this case. So let's leave it as static for now. Let's see if we need to make changes later. Still, like on one side you have the project, on another side you have the package of Swift defining the dependencies. You need some kind of way to kind of merge in the two worlds. Like you need to say my target depends on an external dependency. So if you go to the project of Swift, which you were defining before, in that dependencies attribute that you pass to the first target, you can pass another type of dependency that is called external. So if you do comma after the Cork help, where you define the dependency in line number 4, not there, but in the line 4,
Right?
um, right next to the target dependency, where you say target name Cork help, then do comma inside the array,
Right.
and then do dot external.
External. Okay.
Exactly.
There's only one constructor. Okay.
So then you pass the name of the first dependency, which was I think launch at login.
Launch at login, yes.
And then condition, you can delete it.
Oh, I can do it. Okay.
And then comma, and then you had another dependency.
Another external next step from there. Foundation. And then we can remove the condition. Okay.
Perfect.
I will
So let,
just make it a bit prettier to look at.
yeah, it would be awesome if every time I run into this, you know, that in JavaScript there's this tool called prettier that you do command save and it auto formats everything. I always miss that in Xcode. So
I
kind of
have
like,
this Swift formatter,
nice.
which lets me. I'm wondering what it's gonna do. Let's see.
Try. I think it should be
Yeah, it just
work.
align the dependencies differently.
Oh, yeah, Pretty does an amazing job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone please build prettier for this.
Nice.
All right. So let's keep this open, and if you go back to the terminal and do twist install to install the dependencies. So this is the nice thing about this, like separating the two things. If you go on a plane or you don't have internet connection, those dependencies will always be resolved. So there is no, I don't know, I delete derived data and suddenly my dependencies have disappeared. So you kind of have more control over those things and control over the developer experience as well. So now you can, after installing the dependencies, you only do it when you change dependencies. So now you can do twist generate. and then that will basically turn your project.swift into an Xcode project, and it will open it. And the name of the Xcode project will be the same one that you use when describing the project, Cork dash Tuist.
Okay.
If you don't want to open the Xcode project, you can do Tuist generate minus minus open and no open, and it won't open it. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. That's why it said like, it was only supported in iOS. Let's remove that dependency for now. We might need to make some changes in Twist to make that happen. So that would be the not that one.
Oh, not that one. Right, this one. Right.
Exactly. So the target is there, but we'll see how we make those two kind of link. So if you do Twist generate now.
Okay, that worked.
Perfect. So you'll see that if you go to the project, you'll see that here you have the two targets defined there, but they don't contain any build settings or any build phases. So main build phases like sources and resources and everything that you will need to actually compile the app. So let's start by porting the build settings. So for that, there are a few things that you can do. You can copy the build settings from the existing project and define them in Swift, in the project.swift, but you will end up with a large project.swift file. What I always recommend doing, and this is, we documented it as such, is extracting everything into xconfigs and then configuring the project.swift to point to those xconfig files. So for that, we provide a migration command that helps you extract build settings into xconfig. So if you go back to the terminal, that command is called, you do twist space migration space and then settings dash 2 dash xconfig. 2 xconfigs in plural.
Like this?
Exactly. And then you pass space minus P from Portugal, space, and then the name of your ESCO project, Cork, the ESCO project. And then the path where you would like the project build settings to be exported. So you do minus X, and then we can create maybe an xconfigs directory. So you do xconfigs slash, and then project.xconfig.
Is there a convention if the project should be capitalized or not?
No, you can call it however you want. I like to use capital letter always for the first letter, but it's up to you.
I'll also make it capital. Just there we go.
Let's see.
And on option P.
Can you do run like Twist migrations settings to xconfigs minus minus help to see what?
Of course. I will just see if I can make this text bigger as well.
Should be visible.
That's 24, so why is it not 24?
I think if you do Command Shift plus, maybe that's a trick.
No, doesn't
okay.
work.
Settings to I told you settings to xconfigs in plural and it's settings to xconfig in singular.
Yeah, okay. So do I go back to the original command?
Yeah, the one that you typed.
Okay, there we go.
Then remove the S.
Right, okay, let's give it a try.
Are you in the project doesn't contain a PBX project? When you pass the path to the project it should be the entire project name cork.escoproj.
Okay. Okay, let's try that. Okay, finally.
Does it work? Okay. So now we do the same for the targets. So the way you do it is, so it's a similar command, but then you need to pass an extra -T representing the target and then the name of the target. So if you go up to the previous command, then change the path to, instead of xconfig slash project.xconfig, you call it the name of the target, so cork.xconfig.
So do I still leave it in the XC configs?
Yeah, let's use
No?
that folder as a place to store all the xconfig
Okay.
files.
You said what was the extension?
Xconfig,
Mhm.
and then
Okay.
space -t space and cork, which is the name of the target whose settings are
Mhm.
being instructed. Yep, if you do that, perfect.
Okay.
And now repeat the same thing for the bundle.
Mhm. This way, right?
Yeah, and the name of the xconfig should be cork help.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Okay, that worked.
Cool. So now let's go back to the edited project in Xcode, and let's configure it to use those xconfig files.
Mhm.
I think this is not this is the generated one.
Yeah, this is the generic one. This is the original one.
Yeah. So then there is one attribute called settings. With this one, I never know in which order we should pass it. I think it should be after. Maybe we should at some point we should replicate the same syntax as Swift UI. I think it's called property builders. No, I think it's more
Yeah,
convenient than
yeah,
this.
it is. Yeah, that's much
But
better.
I, let's try before targets. I think you can do settings colon as the name of the attribute. Do or if you do command click
Okay.
on the project, you will see the initializer, and maybe we can see where not there, but on the
Oh,
X and the name of the symbol. So options packages settings is one of the first. So you can pass settings before targets.
setting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So settings, and then you do dot settings.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so let's do that one.
The first one.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then you pass an array of all the configurations that you have in the app. By default, you have debug and release, so do .debug.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So name is debug as a string. You can pass it as a string debug.
Like this.
And then, if after that you
Mhm.
do comma xconfig, no, inside the
Oh, right, right,
parentheses,
right, right.
no, without the dot, just xc,
Oh,
type
wait.
xconfig.
X. Oh,
Yeah.
right, 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 right.
And then that's a string, so or do dot here,
Mm-hmm.
dot. And then you have a bunch of options relative to the current file, relative to the manifest, or relative to the root. Because we know xconfig directory is relative to the root, let's use that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a string, you pass xconfig slash project.xconfig. That was the name.
Yes, I think so.
And then after debug, you need to add the second config, which is release. So you do before the closing of the square bracket. Um,
Before here. Okay.
yeah, you do comma release, not release. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's same as the debug. So as a name, you pass release, and then comma, and then xconfig. So before the
I have it.
parentheses.
I have it like very chaotic because I can't see where everything is.
Yeah, maybe
So
you want to start like adding some intros.
yeah.
It's like multi-line.
Mm-hmm. And this is also relative truth, right?
Yeah,
And what did we name it again?
you can copy it from the other like xconfigs slash exactly. Yep.
Okay. Now let me see if this is gonna do anything. No, so I have to do it manually. Give me a second.
Yes.
Settings, configurations.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need to do it like that. Let's done it wrong. Oops. Type.
Maybe this feature maybe will come in Xcode 17.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh
in
no.
the
Format
far
unsafe.
future. Yeah, that would be great.
Uh,
Okay, why
Perfect.
not?
Yeah, I think you can copy the whole settings initialization. So basically, this you can
Hmm.
copy it.
Like that.
Yep.
Hmm.
And then
Okay.
in like here, right after name, you can also pass a
Hmm.
setting as attribute, and the type is the same one, so you can paste what you copied.
Like that.
And comma. Let's see. I think the order is probably yeah.
Oh shit.
Name destinations, product name, bundle ID. Bundle ID, deployment, resources. Where are the settings? And name settings.
Name settings. Hmm. I don't see anything wrong.
It suggests a fix. Let's see if Code is able to fix it.
Okay.
Or you need.
Well, I
It's
have no
this.
idea. Well, no, now everything's fucked up.
Yeah, I think destinations is before settings. So if you go back,
Hmm.
um, go back one more time until like yeah, exactly,
Ah,
and then paste it, but after destinations.
okay. Hmm.
Still product. Yeah, after. And this the header setting dependencies is actually at the end. So
Hmm.
yeah, reverted, and then at the end, after I think the last attribute that you have here is dependencies. So you have to add
Uh-huh.
it here, right?
Here, right there.
No, between the square bracket and the parentheses.
All right. So
Yeah.
here.
Hmm.
Okay, finally.
So the configurations are the same, debug and release. And then the thing that changes is this one. So this will be Cork and Cork Xcode project, xcconfig, sorry.
Hmm. Like
Mhm.
this.
And then, yep. And then here, the
Hmm.
same thing, you do comma and then paste the settings before the, I think it's before the parentheses. If you, yeah, like here.
Here. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah.
Hmm. Perfect. So if you go back to the terminal and do Tuist generate, that will create the project. And then we'll see if it has the build settings set.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good sign. Then if you go here and you expand this, cool. Cool. So you see it's
Hmm.
telling you that it's using the xconfig files automatically, and those xconfig files will contain the build settings of the existing project. So you can expand
Hmm.
this group, check those values. I'm sure most of them were the values that I think this is wrong. We need to change it
Oh.
with core.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
where was it? I'm
yeah,
confused.
yeah. If you open this one, any of the two,
Right. Right. Right.
you'll see that we mistyped the name. So this one should be core help.
Hmm. Right.
You have to go back to the manifest, but that's fine. Like we'll change that later. But if you go
Hmm.
to, for example, any of the xconfig files, you will see that those are settings that we extracted.
Hmm.
So most of them are probably like the ones that you got generated automatically
Hmm.
by Xcode. Maybe some were added later, but those are like very, very standard, nothing crazy.
Hmm.
So yeah, we can close this. We can go back to the, let's fix this one. So this should be Cork help and Cork help.
Hmm.
Perfect. So we have the
Hmm.
settings. Now we have to go to the sources. So let's go back to the original Xcode project and see what you have there.
Hmm.
So if we go to this target
Hmm.
and then compile sources, you have 268
Hmm.
sources. Then if you open the link binary, you're linking the two dependencies. This symbol means they are static, so
Hmm.
that's fine. And then you have resources 6. So we have to make sure that we have the same resources and the same sources. So that's important. Otherwise, there will be some inconsistencies. So usually, like most sources are located in some directory. So you say like put everything that is inside this directory or any subdirectory. The problem with that is that sometimes people like by mistake they delete one file from the Xcode project, but they forget to remove it from the system, and you might end up getting extra files that you deleted like a long time ago, or that you thought you deleted a long time ago. But we'll see that like we'll generate that project and see if with the number that we get is exactly the same one. If that is the same number, I think we should have a high confidence that the project is gonna be the same in terms of sources. But sometimes you will see 269 and you're like, where is that extra file? And it takes some time to figure it out. But that happens a lot. You can't imagine. So let's start with the sources.
Mhm.
But let's check before we do that. Let's check if Core Help has another. I think that one has no sources, right? Yeah, no sources.
No.
This is mostly resources.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the edited project, Swift.
Yes.
Here, yeah, exactly. So somewhere here, there's a sources attribute.
Somewhere.
Since so, we need to change that at some point. I think it's after bundle ID and before settings. I think it's here. So if you do
Okay.
comma
Let's see.
sources,
No.
no, then do command click on this and let's see in which order sources appears. I think the Swift package manager is also thinking about changing the interface because of the same issue. As you see, like there are so many, so the sources are here. It's right after deployment targets.
Okay.
Or after, or can you go again? There's
Of
destinations
course.
and destinations product is right after product.
Right after product. Okay.
Hmm.
Uh,
So that will
s-
be here. So if you do comma
mhm.
sources,
No.
no, without the dot, yeah,
Oh,
sources,
oh,
and
all
then
right.
yeah,
So
and then colon, and then you pass an array and then comma. Let's see if it likes it.
it doesn't.
Yeah, same.
Bundle ID must precede sources.
Yeah, so it's after bundle ID.
Let's fix that. Okay.
Cool. And now sources is and you can pass either like paths directly to the file, or you can use globs where you say everything under this directory. I don't know where your source is located. Like, are all of them under a particular directory?
Let's see. They are under Cork. Yeah, this is all the sources.
Okay. And are they all Swift files, or do you have any headers or Objective-C or?
Uh, well, there is a entitlements. There's a plist.
Okay, those are fine. So the entitlements is referenced as from a build setting, so we'll have to do that. And well, we don't have to do that because that has been extracted in the xconfig, so that's fine. The
Mhm.
info list is something that we'll need to define. We'll do that later, and then
I
everything else.
also
Yep.
I also have localizable. I have a string catalog
Oh
here,
yeah.
so
But those are not .swift file. I think the kind of glob pattern that we can define is anything under Cork that has a Swift extension. So if you
mhm.
go here, you can do as a string, you can do star star, then slash star dot swift, which means just a single star.
Oh, single star. Okay.
Yeah, so this means any subdirectory at any level, and this means a file with an extension in Swift. So it's gonna traverse everything and collect all the Swift sources and like include them. Let's see if we get to 68. So go back to the terminal and do to generate.
Mhm.
If you go here and then go to the build settings. Oh, sorry, the target and the build
Right.
phases.
Field phases. 298. Look at
uh, um, let's try to compile it. We'll see what happens. But if you're
that. Okay.
missing, let's see
Fail.
what. Can you check that? Can you check this one here?
Of course.
Save compiler, package strings data. Okay, let me check one thing. we see how the project is being built. Target Cork, project Cork, Tuist has Swift tasks, not blocking, downstream targets. That's weird. Let's see which sources have been included. Yeah, we've included yeah, we've included the files that we should not be included, including like packages themselves. Let's I think this should be anything under Cork. Let's try to generate the project again.
Okay.
I think now we should get it to 68.
279. Well, closer.
If you try to compile now. Okay. Let's see. Let's see again if there is anything. I wonder if there is anything. Let's also try to compile the scheme separately. So there is on one side there are the dependency, so David Foundation. So we can try to compile this one, David Foundation. It's always when there is a graph and there are some compilations issues, like sometimes it's helpful to start like from the deepest most target. Like this one is fine, and the other one is launch at login. Okay. And now if we go to the ultimate Swift tasks, not blocking downstream targets. Top package strings data. Is top package
Top package should be a Swift file. I don't know what's happening.
The error is super misleading. Maybe.
Oh, I have them with the spaces. I have the controversial naming scheme. No, the purge doesn't have any symlinks.
Sorry?
Oh, I'm just responding to the chat to Marek.
Invalid redeclaration of top package.
Maybe it's one of those legacy ones that like didn't get picked up by Xcode.
I mean, there are two. There is packages discoverability, and then
Well, I have no idea what this is about.
okay, so let's check which one you have in the other one. So here you have top package, and this one model discoverability. So if we delete that one, Um, like here, discoverability. This is the one. Let's remove it from the target. Let's see.
Oh, just give
Compile.
me a second.
Yeah, now it compiles.
Yeah, okay.
But the error was super misleading. Well,
Oh shit.
now we have the others. Maybe
Now
it's everything,
everything
and
is a redeclaration.
uh, you have it in multiple places.
No, this is the only one. I'm sure about that.
You have listbox and you have listbox too.
Oh well, I guess that's some Xcode shit again.
Um, this is let's go back here.
Because
Search
I
for.
know there were some files that had two like at the end of them, which
Mhm.
got completely ignored by Xcode until now, and I thought I got them all, but I guess I didn't.
Yeah, that's the classic issue. So let's go with
Oh, there's a lot of twos.
outdated. Do you have any outdated here? Outdated. Start by removing all the outdated ones. This
Wait,
one,
wait,
okay.
wait.
Okay.
Let me see. List box, loader box. Yeah, well, never mind. I thought it was like a weird,
Yeah. They are
weird
not
looking
included in
ticket.
the ESCO project existing one. So we can also like say don't include them. That would be an option.
Hmm.
So whatever you prefer, you can delete them or you can say we can exclude them. To
Hmm.
exclude them would require us to add a bunch of exceptions here to say include
Hmm.
everything under this directory except this and except this and except this. There are at least 8 of those files. So we can, for now, like let's remove them, and then later on you can decide if you wanna keep them in a different directory or do something with them. But there are a bunch of those, and the other one that we were also, what was the name of the other one? Mm, I forgot. Um, let's delete them.
I think all of those that have two in the name can be deleted.
They have what?
Oh, there are a couple that have two in the name of the back of the
Ah,
file.
then let's you delete them. Um,
Yeah, let's delete them all. Yeah, because I don't know why Xcode did that. Let's see. Which one is the? Yeah, you can see that this with two has the old formatting that I no longer
yeah.
use. So everything that has like two in the name is like some Xcode crap that we can just delete. Mm.
Yeah, this is the classic. Like a lot of people ask us if we can basically automate the whole migration, and we thought about that, but then we were like, there are projects that are like, and yours is simple. Like you can easily have scenarios like this one where your project is fine, everything compiles, but your file system has a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
leftovers.
Okay,
So we
let's
always
try
tell
that.
them we provide you with tools and like guidelines, but we recommend to go through the migration yourself.
Oh, now it's complaining. I think I have to do I have to do the generate again?
Try to do it like and see what the state like generate clean the build and try to build again. It's good. Like we'll get rid of those files that you're no longer using.
Okay.
This is also something positive about using something like Tuist. Like you won't be in that scenarios again. There is
Built
outdated package
input
loader.
files cannot be found.
I think it's the
Oh, those
outdated package
twos.
loader box 2.
Yeah, it's all those two ones that I deleted. Oh, by the way, Thomas is asking in the chat, will there be a recording of the stream?
Yeah, there should be
Mhm.
otherwise I won't pay for this platform. That was a promise that they gave me. Yeah, I think it's being live streaming on YouTube as well.
Why is it complaining? Well, oh, it's the redeclaration again? What the hell? What is this?
I think there might be still some files if you um, like top package. I think that's the one that we deleted before.
Mhm.
Like we did not delete the file. We just removed it from the target. If you go back to the other scope project, let's see which one is the right one. Which one is the
Mhm.
one that we should delete? It's called top package, I think.
Mhm.
So the one that we need to keep is the one under models discoverability. So if you go back
Mhm.
to the other project and search for top package, extract, yeah.
Right.
So one of them, so there are two. One of them is under discoverability. This is the one that we don't need. No.
This is the one we
Oh,
need, right?
this is the one that we need. This is the one that we need to delete. So maybe you can go to Finder,
Mhm.
show in Finder, delete it, and then you generate the project again.
Okay. Right.
Maybe now we are in the 268 that you.
Maybe.
You
Okay,
try to
let's
build.
try.
Try to build now.
Oh, what is this? Yeah, you deleted one of the reviews.
Yeah, there's one duplicated and one that we should not have deleted.
Okay, let's see. Let's take care of this one first.
Hmm.
So let's remove that. And let's look in the trash for
Maybe on
outdated
Git.
package. Hmm.
You can also check that in the existing scope project to see
Yeah,
which
you're
one
right.
is the valid one.
Right. Right. It's the wrong branch. Maybe we can restore it like this. Um, outdated package loader box. That's this one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's discard. Okay, let's try it now.
Perfect. Then you have to regenerate because now the file is
Right.
not included.
Right. List box. Okay, that's this other one.
It says clean first because it's possible that this code is not in a kind of like a
Ah,
messy state.
okay. Yeah, right. Nope. Still, I will do another regeneration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on.
Come on, this is the one I can feel it.
Yes. Maybe now if you check the number of sources, you'll get the 268.
I'll succeed it. Oh, but now I have no icon.
Yeah, no, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. So you can
Okay.
close the app. I will probably there are some missing elements, so I would be surprised if it works.
I wanna see.
Uh,
I wanna see the number 270. What was enough?
okay, there are still two extra files that don't make the compilation fail, but I don't know what they. Therefore, maybe later you can do like some kind of diffing, and maybe you will figure
Yeah.
it out.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So you notice the icon is missing. So for that,
Mhm.
you need an info list. I think the info list the one that references the icon, and the icon is a resource that needs to be in the app. So let's do first the info list, and then we do the resources, and then from that, let's see if the app launches. The core help, I think we would still need to do some changes in Twist to make that work. We can kind of put it on hold. We do the fix, and then
Mhm.
we finalize that work later. But if you go back to the project.swift, the place where we were editing the project,
Mhm.
um, again, there's a property called info list. Now we need to find the location. Do come and click on target and see what.
Mhm.
There's info list is
Here it
here,
is.
and it's right after deployment target. So
Uh,
which we have destinations bundle ID right after bundle ID. I think that's the one that we
okay.
have.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we do
Info list.
copy list.
And then you do dot, and then you use the third one, which is I have a file in the file system,
Mm-hmm.
and then we need to pass all the paths that you pass here are relative to the root. So
Mm-hmm.
where is the info list of this project? Do you know which directory it lives?
Let's see. Let me just close all of these windows.
Yeah.
Um, info plist is here in it's the root, so it's in the subfolder Cork.
Cork info list. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
then let's pass that path. So Cork slash info list. Perfect.
Okay.
And
I'll
I don't know if the bundle. I don't know if the bundles need the info list. We can check on the if you go back to the original ESCO project
mm-hmm.
and go to the build
Let's have it.
settings. Go to the build settings of
The bundle.
the bundle. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And then here search for info list. I don't think bundles have info lists. Or do they? Or they? Can you search in if you have any other info list file in the system? I don't think you.
Of course.
Is there a way to search? Ah, yeah. There's this core help info list.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? I know
Or
that's the one that we generated that. So
yeah.
when you don't pass any info list, we generate the one with the default values. So that's why it's
Mm-hmm.
inside this directory called derived because we derived the info list for you. I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Let's do now the resources. So if you go again to the ESCO project, this one here, and then let's check this one here,
Mm-hmm.
build phases, and then let's see how many resources you have. 6. Can you open this? Okay, so this is the dependency. That's the part that I need to make some changes in Tuist to support. But there's this XE assets, there is the XE strings.
I also have
There's the
this sudo helper.
What we can do is we can use a glove that says inside Cork any file with the XE assets or XE strings or XE privacy extension is included.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for this one, can you click on it? Can you open the no, this thing on the side
Mm-hmm.
like this sudo helper? Where does it live? Do you have some reference to that?
Yes, it's in Logic helpers programs.
Okay, perfect. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's something that we can include as well. So let's do any file with XE asset extension, with XE string extensions, or with XE privacy extension. So go back to the project.swift. And once again, we need to find, I would expect it to be after sources. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe you do here, comma, resources.
Yes.
Mm -hmm. That's an array. So you can do a square bracket, comma.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's similar to the pattern that you use above, like something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
So,
pass a string
mm-hmm.
that says Cork slash star star slash star.xe asset. I don't know if it's plurals. Yeah, I think it's xe assets in
Let
plural.
me see. X the
Xe assets.
assets.
Perfect. Then do the same with xe strings.
Mm-hmm.
Then the privacy file. I think there is only one. I don't know if we would need to do. I think we can pass directly the path to that file, and I think that's
Mhm,
at the root. So you can do
mhm,
just the name of the file privacy info.exe privacy. Perfect. Then comma. Let's add the sudo helper thingy,
mhm,
which is in Cork logic helpers
mhm.
slash
And
programs
program.
slash sudo helper.
Oh, we have a comment in the chat. What
Ah,
about star.exe star?
good question. I don't know if this is a supported syntax. I mean, we can try.
Yeah.
We use I think we use a Globin utility from the Swift supports something tool package. I don't know if they support it. Um, and I don't know if it's a valid glob syntax. Well, we can try. Let's do it like this, and then after that we can change it and see if that works.
Mhm.
So now do to generate and see if we'll
Okay.
get everything except the bundle.
Okay.
You see the icon now because now there is an info list
Mhm,
reference and the resources inside the app. So if you go to the project itself and then go to the, you can close this one and then see
mhm.
the resources here. We have the assets, the strings, sudo helper, previous. Perfect. So the only one that is missing is the Cork help. Let's do the same. We need to add resources to this one as well. So let's go to the original ESCO project and
Mhm.
see what resources you included there.
I have to find it. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Um, see, I think that's fine. I think the only one missing is this one here,
yeah, it
the
is.
bundle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll make the change later in Tuist so that it's added automatically once you declare the
Mhm.
target dependency.
Okay.
Okay, let's take let's go here to this project,
Mhm.
and then let's see what resources you have there. So we need to include those resources in the other target. So index HTML, topic, privacy, and topic 2. Do you need
This
to
is
include the
only test. This only those are only testing. Like those are not production anyway, because this is not really implemented yet. They're only
ah?
they are only for testing for now.
And is the app using the bundle at all?
It it is. I'll show you. If I open
Hmm.
it up, I have the help, and it's literally just this like one page for now.
I see. I see. I
Mhm.
see. Okay. Okay. So if the bundle is missing, I guess maybe at runtime it will fail. We try, but I think the app should work, no? If you only
Yeah,
use
it
it for
should.
help
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I in the future I want
I
to
mean,
implement the help, but I still haven't gotten around to it because like the process is so awkward.
okay. Let's try. Let's
Mhm.
try to build the app. So run the app. If
Mhm.
if we haven't missed anything, um, go back here again just to see if there's any other build phase that we might. So target dependencies is fine. No, sorry, the target one.
Mhm.
So target
Okay. Okay.
dependencies, sources, libraries. I think it's all fine. So that should run. Um,
Oh, the icon is still missing.
yeah, I think because it probably had something in derived data from before that had no icon. So I think if you delete that from derived data, it should work. So if you go to the derived data folder, you think if you go there about, I think it's settings, sorry.
Right.
This is my in general, this is my way of opening derived data quickly. No,
Mhm.
location, sorry.
Okay.
Then you click here. I always forget the path. So open this. Then let's delete this one, which contains artifacts from previous builds,
Mhm.
and then run it again. And I think it should show the icon.
Hopefully. Let's see.
There you go. Let's do a couple of fun stuff, and then I think we can consider it like we still need to do some changes in the pipelines, automation, and all of that. But having a working project is is an important milestone. Let's play with cache, and let's plug this into the server to see analytics, so that how the cache is being used, metrics, and which will help you as you kind of keep adding more modules and more dependencies and more people. Like will help you like optimize your project and make informed decisions. So let's go to the edited project again. And if you remember, we had this package.swift file. I noticed that the dependencies are integrated dynamically. And the way you know that is, I'll go back here. And if you look at the dependencies, this one, for example, usually the yellow icon means dynamic. But if you want to make sure, you do this. No, actually, it's a static library. So let's turn that into a static framework, because we don't support caching libraries yet. At the end of the day, the effect is going to be the same. But we need to add support for a static library. So let's change that to a static framework. So I'm going to let's go back to here. And then here, you can change the product of any of the dependencies that you have. So let's add the couple of dependencies that you have. You can add launch at login. So here you can like launch at login as a string key, and then product.framework. Sorry, static framework, and then comma, and then add the other dependency, David Foundation, a static framework. Perfect. So if you go to the terminal and do Tuist cache, so now what we do is we take all your targets from dependencies and for your project, and we turn them into binaries that you can reuse in clean builds. So with that, you just keep the compilation of external dependencies. In your case, because you have a lot of external dependencies, I think the difference will be small. But as you keep adding dependencies and the project keeps growing, at some point you will notice a big difference. So now you do Twist generate, and then you will see that because you warm the cache with binaries, select like use the version on disk. Sometimes like ESCO, when you make a lot of changes, it's kind of confused. It doesn't know how to kind of reload the changes. But now if you see dependencies are gone, if you open that directory, you will see that your two frameworks are now XC frameworks. So you skip all the compilations of the dependencies. So let's say your dependencies account for 50% of your compilation time. For example, let's say you add macros, or let's say you add like a big dependency with a lot of code, most of which you don't use. No, but it's still like it adds to your compilation time. So thanks to this, you can kind of skip all the compilation of those things. If you run the app, it should work. So if you click play, and on CI, where you do like clean builds, you skip that. Like you pull binaries and then you skip the compilation of those external dependencies. Perfect. Let's do one final thing. Like let's onboard you like on the server so that you can like collect metrics and like make informed decisions and like share the cache across CI, local, like with contributors. This is not required for contributions, but for you, like you will save a lot of time and also speed up your builds locally and on CI and get metrics for free. So you can do, if you go back to the terminal, you can do twist auth to authenticate the system. And this is like a extra feature for Twist, which version of Twist are you on?
What is the command for that?
Twist version?
420.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you install Twist with Homebrew?
Yeah, I bet I installed some weird ass one again.
I think like we can use this one. We changed the name of the command. Instead of used to be Twist Cloud Auth, and now it's called Twist Auth. So let's do Twist Cloud Auth.
It's all messed up.
So you can authenticate with GitHub, for example.
Hmm. Which account is it trying to authenticate?
Is that yours
That's.
or
I mean, I'm logged in, but it doesn't have the avatar.
it could be a bug on?
Oh wait, it is me.
Yeah, maybe
So
it's a bug on GitHub.
yeah, maybe.
So now you will authenticate the CLI. So you can go to the dashboard. It's empty now. You
Hmm.
don't have any project or anything. That's cool. But let's do go back to the terminal. I think you should
Hmm.
see something like you are now authenticated. Cool. So
Hmm.
now let's do Twist Cloud project create and then do minus help just to see the syntax. So it's Twist Cloud Twist Cloud project create, then the name of the project, and then if you because in this case your organization is you as a user, so you don't need to pass anything. It will be automatically created under you. So let's do Twist Cloud project create Cork. Perfect.
Yeah,
And if
create.
if you refresh the browser, I think you should see the project, but with no data.
Yes.
Cool. And then if you go back to the project of Swift, then we'll need to kind of link the two things together.
Hmm.
Uh, so let's go to the config.swift, which we have empty for now. And
Hmm.
here inside the parentheses, we do cloud column, and then you do dot cloud, and then you pass the project ID, which this is syntax that has changed in the latest version, but we still support this. And then the project ID is your user handle, the one that you saw on the Twist website. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Slash, and then the name of the project, which is Core.
Okay.
Now, if you do, you go back to the terminal and you do commands like, for example, let's try to build from here. Let's do twist build. And this is the nice thing about like having twist as well is that it provides this we wrap Scott build and we provide like things like analytics. We also prettify the output so that you don't have to do that yourself through endless abstractions. And in the case of tests, we also provide like flakiness detection tools, and we'll add a lot of more features and workflows that you will get instantly. You don't have to program a lot of complex scripting. Do for example twist. You don't have tests, so let's do twist build again because like we don't send like locally we don't send the data to the server immediately. We try to like in future runs we then try to take the opportunity to send the data, but basically now in the background like the data is being collected and pushed to the server. So if you go back to here to your
Hmm.
project and now you open it, you go to runs, you see that like how many times the project is interacted with, how long it takes, when the command was done, who would run the command if it ran from CI. And when you start like using more caching, then you will see a lot of insightful information for you that helps you optimize. Again, like your project is small, so you don't
Hmm.
get much benefit from it. But as the project keeps growing, you will see that that data will be super useful. So Matic and I are like working a lot on like investigating, like trying to understand what type of data users need and make sure that we provide the data on the dashboard. Right now it's very simple, no? But in the future, like you will see it, this is useful. And the same
Hmm.
goes for tests. I guess if you go there, it's empty, like there are no flaky
Yeah.
tests. But the idea is at some point you keep adding tests, everything is fine, and at some point you're like, oh, tests are flaky. No, how do we know which tests are flaky? How do we fix them? No, so we're working on all these different features that will help you make sure that the project stays healthy. Because in ESCO projects, it's really easy to end up with a lot of complexity, a lot of flakiness, a lot of slowness, and this is something that with Twist we're trying to kind of like prevent, help teams tackle. But yeah, and I'll activate a plan for open source so that you can use all of this for free,
Hmm.
definitely.
Okay.
All right. I think that was we'll investigate the bundle, but now you have
Hmm.
an ESCO project. I think you can. What I would recommend doing if you have any CI/CD pipeline is that you update it to run Twist. You can get ignored and you can include as like steps for contributors that they need to twist in the system. You can also keep the ESCO project, but then you would lose the benefits of not having conflicts. We recommend people not to have them. So the only difference between what you did before and what you have to do now is that before you just double click the ESCO project icon and then it open. Now you do twist generate or twist install before if you have changed dependencies, and that's it. And then you open the ESCO project and it doesn't need to resolve any dependencies. It's ready to compile.
Okay, so I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's imagine that I am writing a tutorial for a
Mm-hmm.
first time contributor to the project.
Mm-hmm.
Let me open the README.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so I have this compilation tutorial down here.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I have the first step. You clone the repo,
Mm-hmm.
and I immediately chain it so that it opens the Cork project. So
Okay.
now, if I understand right, I have to before it opens, I have to add a command for Tuist generate, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it opens the Xcode project as like normally.
Exactly. So instead
Mhm.
of open Cork SQL project would be twist generate.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. And then the contributor can like add stuff normally to the generated
Exactly.
project. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Because
Mhm.
once you have the groups generated on the side, like most of the things that people do are either changing the source of an existing file or adding and removing files. So when you do that action in Xcode, those changes are persisted in the file system. You don't have to go through this Twitch generated workflow that often, only if they're like
Mhm.
very radical changes in the structure. But if that's really not an everyday thing that happens from time to time, no.
Mhm.
And if that happens, you will notice because the project doesn't compile. If you are in that position, you close it, you run generate, and then you get a representation of the project that is up to date. And I saw that you're talking about modularization, and you're thinking about how to split in Cork app into smaller like libraries and frameworks. That's
Mhm.
generally a good idea as you keep growing the project for maintainability reasons, for like having boundaries and like having domains and all of that, and also for compilation times. So with Twist is way easier because as you saw, like you keep adding targets and then you are defining dependencies between those targets. And if you go to the terminal for a second, uh,
Mhm.
you can run commands like twist graph, for example.
Mhm.
And then as you keep modularizing, let's say you have a first-time contributor and they would like to get an overview of how things depend on each other, no? So thanks to a tool like this, they will be able to get an overview of the dependency graph, which is very useful. So all these
Mhm.
different tools, you get them for free. It's like, and they are super convenient when you're working on
Yeah, I can
on
imagine.
any
Yeah.
code base. At this scale, not, but if your plans are to modularize and to bring more contributors, those tools are key.
Yeah, right now the
It's
the entire app is this like huge monolith, right? But I
yeah.
wanna first I wanna split off the services controller
Hmm.
into its
Hmm.
own module. Then I'm gonna add a Homebrew installer, which I also wanna split off.
Yeah.
So I bet in time it's gonna be very useful.
Yeah. It's a super good idea.
Mhm.
Twist code base is modular, and we use Twist with Twist, so it's amazing. I mean, it requires a lot of thinking and a lot of iteration and like moving stuff around, but long term is such a good idea. Uh,
Mhm.
so this is installing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
now it's amazing. Like you have four dependencies. We know companies that have above like 600 targets, and when they get this image, like it's so big that it doesn't fit in the screen. So now we're thinking about how to make the whole thing interactive, maybe by opening like a web page with some JavaScript and some interactive kind of graph. But this is useful. Like you see in your case, it's one target, like two dependencies, and this guy here that still is not connected with anything. But as you keep adding more dependencies, creating more modules, then you can come back here. Or let's say you want to include that in the README or your documentation for new contributors. You just run this command, get the PNG, and include it in the repo. And all this is just an example of another workflow that we have, but we'll keep adding more. And you just because you're using Twist, you get them. Our principle is that instead of you having to be the one like kind of bringing different tools with different programming languages and trying to combine them together into something that makes sense, we do the job for you so that you focus on building. You don't have to be. You just learn few commands that are super powerful, and that's it. And you'll have to continue with the. I think when we started, like you said that there were like additional schemes in the project. The Swift, you can also define schemes. I'll let you check the docs and do the implementation, but they're very like the same thing that you see in the Xcode UI when it comes to configuring the schemes. You'll have the same kind of syntax and API in Swift.
Yeah.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah, it was very, I'm happy we made it work.
Yeah, it's
It's a great step.
and we clean up a bunch of
Yeah, a bunch of shit.
files.
Exactly.
And thanks a lot, David, for the time. I'll see if I can
Mhm,
publish this on YouTube. And if you have any
mhm,
questions, like we are on a Slack, we can you
mhm.
can
Yeah, we
bring
can
them
talk.
up.
And I really hope I find the time to look at the documentation lately. I've been so busy with everything.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
imagine.
have time.
I
Yeah.
imagine. All right, then. Yeah. Have a good one and see you around.
You too. And I'll see you and everyone who was watching the stream. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time to have a look at us. And
Yeah.
hopefully I will see you all in the Slack as well as new team
Yeah.
members.